at Ashmedi from Marrakesh. Most of the people of our listeners know Marrakesh already, but for the listeners who don't know, can you tell a bit more about the band?
Marrakesh is a band with its own sound, which is mixing extreme metal like death, thrash metal, black metal, even hard rock. With Middle Eastern music, and we started in the holy city of Jerusalem in '93. But at the moment, I'm living for the last 14 years in Amsterdam, and we got a bunch of albums out. And the last few years, all we do is just tour. That's about it. That's Marrakesh.
Yeah, you come from Jerusalem, but you moved to the Netherlands. How is it for you to live there?
In the Netherlands?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I live next to Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a very charming town, but it's also a very small place, you know. And the weather, you gotta get used to the. I'm actually like, I like the beach and sunshine, so you don't have much of that. So that's that's the biggest challenge, basically, the weather. But the last few years, I'm hardly here. I'm always either on tour or just hanging out in other countries at friends, and stuff like that. I don't spend so much time here. I only spend time here to do band practice in the last few years.
Yeah, Marrakesh has a very original sound. Where did you get inspiration from?
It was very simple. It's a matter of choice. I wanted, basically, when I wanted to make metal music, I didn't want to recreate. I wanted to create something new and maybe leave it a legacy or maybe a sound of extreme metal from the Near East, Middle East. I wanted to leave something behind, no matter how small or big. It's not an issue of ego, it's an issue of gratification. I wanted to do extreme metal. Specifically at the time was black metal, raw black metal. I tried the Middle Eastern drum beats and they work because heavy metal is primal. And tribal music, which is Middle Eastern music, is also primal. So they're good friends together, That's how it started, basically. And it kept on developing. Started including, psychedelic rock, heavy metal, hard rock. It's the way the relationship between the way you play the guitar and the drums, Yeah, that's how I can define what we're doing.
Yeah, I read somewhere that a documentary was being made about the band a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Are there still plans to release or finish that project?
Well, yeah, it's a bit complicated. It was a documentary being made about it was more about like my life story, because there was kind of like an interest, because it's a bit of a strange story, not the regular kind of rocker who started a band, I suppose. The guy started filming. We went back to my hometown, went even to high school, everywhere, but he lost everything. He lost all the films, which is very unfortunate. So it's not going at the moment. However, when we were on tour, there was a Canadian television show. It's like a reality show, and they did an episode about me, which is almost the same story except condensed to one episode, and that's being broadcasted around the world. Depends on the country where. I don't know. I don't think it's out in Holland though. So yeah, that documentary is not happening, but a TV show happened and is being broadcasted, which kind of compensates. But sadly, the director, who happens to be from the Netherlands actually, lost all the footage. Yeah, after spending many days in Jerusalem, other historic places, very private moments. Really went. You could put visuals to where we started. Literally, the first rehearsal room of the band. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Maybe someone else will pick it up. I don't know. It's different than Marrakesh. In Marrakesh, I'm the creator, and the documentary, I was the subject. I have no control over it. But yeah, it's finished.
Yeah. Your last album, the Epigenesis, came out in 2010. Mm-hmm. Are there any plans for a new album?
Plans, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're intending to do a new album. There's two issues. When you try to make original music, it takes a while. When you try to make each song different from the other, it takes a while as well, because you need to be in a different state of mind so they don't all sound like one mood. That's one. But another thing is we've been touring so fucking much. I mean, we've done 5 complete tours for one album, for this album. Like 3, 4 in Europe, three, maybe no, 6 tours I think, and 2 in America and Canada. And we're still gonna tour again. So when you tour a lot, you kind of lose focus for writing. It's a trade-off. But the thing is, I really like touring, and that's why there's a bit of delays with writing. But I assume in the next 6 months we will announce when an album is going to happen. There's going to be a clearer picture.
Yeah, you travel a lot. You don't like to stay at the same place for a time? Or?
No, I don't. It depends where you're staying as well. I mean, don't forget, since I was born, I mean, I've been living all over the planet. I mean, I was born in Jerusalem, but then I lived in Africa for 2 years, in Senegal. And then went back to Jerusalem speaking French, because that's what everybody spoke to me. And then I moved to America, lived in Los Angeles, then went back, then moved to Miami, and then I'm living in Holland. But like I said, in Holland, the weather is a bit getting to me, and it's a little bit small, so I like to travel, get out a lot, know.
If you could choose a place to live, what would you choose?
One of my favorite places in the world is America. In America, but America's a continent, and it's naive to say that. I like California. It's like my second home. I live there. I feel good there. It's Anglophone, good weather, and there's everything you need. So and there's also the beach and everything. So I like it there.
And also in California, I think the NAMM show, NAMM convention, where all the new music shit is getting promoted.
Yeah.
You had something yourself to promote there this year?
Well, yes.
And that is?
Well, I'm getting a signature model guitar, but it's not like any other signature model guitar, because this is a 12 strings V-shape, made for playing 12 strings for extreme metal. So you can play thrash, death, heavy metal. Of course, you can do the usual blues and rock chords with it, but you can play extreme metal with it. It's a very comfortable, very powerful instrument, and I'm holding right now the prototype. So I'm holding the prototype at the moment, and it's going to be launched officially this year in NAMM. So next week I'm heading to the States. I'm going to spend a long time there, like 3 months. But the main reason I'm going is the launch at NAMM, which I'm very excited about. My own signature model guitar, and it's 12 strings. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, when I say 12 strings, it's not like there's a big fretboard. It's every 2 strings together, just like the acoustic 12 strings. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Do you also know anything about the retail price yet, or not?
You know what? They didn't tell me. This is this is going to be out through Fernandez Guitars. It's high quality guitar. It's a neck through from mahogany. Got EMG pickup. The hardware is top notch. So I made sure they don't put any unnecessary pieces in it, but to put very high quality pieces. I hope it will be affordable. I was discussing it. Anything between 700 and 1,000, but I don't want it to be more than that, because it's going to be, to a lot of people, a secondary guitar. And the thing is, in the metal scene, in the extreme metal scene, not many people know they can actually play extreme metal with 12-string guitars. So there's 2 challenges. The challenge of releasing a guitar for the first time, and the challenge of telling people they can compose, and you will compose differently, So about the price, like I said, we'll find out pretty soon, I guess.
Yeah. But the price stated seems fair to me.
For a neck-through guitar?
Yeah, and also I can see in the frets and the colors and it's good quality. Yeah,
it's definitely good quality. Generally speaking, I mean, Fernandez, what I admire about them, I'm also endorsed with Jackson, and I love Jackson. Fernandez, they deliver neck throughs, high quality, and very good pickups and hardware, but they always make it affordable. You don't have to spend 3,000 or 4,000 euros, but you can spend 1,000 euros and get yourself a super professional guitar. That's kind of cool of them.
Yeah. So I guess it will also bring you inspiration for some new songs.
Absolutely, absolutely. You really compose differently when you play with the 12-string. Already in the Epigenesis, 3 songs were composed just because I was jamming on a 12-string guitar. I wouldn't have had those ideas on a 6-string guitar.
Yeah. Talking about the Epigenics, this year there was a digital release of how it's called?
Mystics of the Pillar.
Mystics of the Pillar, Part 2. With only instrumental songs. So what was the reason for that?
No, not quite. Well, the whole album, I like the music, right? And sometimes you don't want to hear the vocals. So the album is mixed without vocals. You can just listen to the music. So we released 2 songs like that, so people can hear it. But also the song itself, Mystic of the Pillar, is with singing. However, it ends differently, like halfway through. Because when I wrote it, I couldn't make up my mind. Should it end fast or should it end epic? So I did it 2 ways, recorded it 2 ways, which is kind of an artistic statement. We released it only digitally in order to keep it cheap. So, you know, you pay a couple of bucks, $2 or something, I don't know, $2, $3. It's like not even a beer. And you have it, you know. But if you're going to make it on CD, then it's going to get the price higher and you need distribution and all that. So it was more like a kind of like an interesting thing to do, an artistic thing to do. Some people want to hear the title track without vocals. They can, like a long instrumental.
I listened to it. It sounds good. And I also understand that there's a limited edition on LP or something. On Nuclear Blast.
No, we're gonna get the LP version. I think we're planning to tour again in a few months. By then, we're gonna have it on LP for exclusively to be sold on the road, just like a collector item, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, you started Melikish in 1993, so in 2013 Melikish is 20 years. Are you gonna do something special to celebrate it?
Just get me a single malt whiskey. No, you see that's always an interesting issue. When do you celebrate the jubileum or the, you know, like 20 years? Is it from the day of formation, because then we are around for 20 years almost, or is it from the first release? You know, I really don't know that, and nobody ever shed light. Each band does it differently. So my booker was saying, how about doing some exclusive shows for the 20 years anniversary? I said, hey, I'm open for suggestions, you know. So we're thinking about it. We're still not sure whether to do something based on that, you know. But definitely we're not going to let it pass by. So either within a couple of years we'll do it as commemorating our first album's release, or we'll do it this year. So matter a couple of years difference, so we'll see.
Hey, what can we expect from Melikish in 2014?
Yeah, that's that. Some changes for the better. New music for sure. Not recording, but we'll announce this year when we'll record. It could be very well in 2013, actually. And a few more tours, you know. A couple of festivals. We just don't sit still. We're a very active band, you know. It's like my full-time job, so I gotta stay out there doing everything. So it's gonna be a very busy year for us, I think.
Thanks a lot for the interview. Last question I always ask is, do you have anything you would like to share with the listeners?
Well, yeah, thank you for listening, and you know, I hope I shed some light about our band. And my mission is always to gain new fans, you know, and we appreciate everyone who's interested in our music, because then it makes it all worthwhile. So thank you for listening.